not and, because when we put and, it presupposes that the two conditions are
Hello.
Does it not come under the second, the first issue?
Maybe the second.
The second is about offenses.
Yeah, because the affidavits were about offenses.
We're about offenses. So it will come under issue number 2.
Much of that. And for the record, my Lord, maybe my client is present in the petitioner.
My Lord, second issue seems to be covering electoral offences.
Yes.
Maybe it should be covered as a third issue.
standalone.
As a standalone third issue. Because this one seems to be talking about legal practices envisaged here, strict electoral offences or illegal practices.
My Lord, we don't have a problem with that.
So can you have something that to this effect, whether whose legality is challenged by the parties?
My Lord, with Chamber and the Mukasa, support of the answer in the petition are legally competent.
I don't know why the one competence is the same.
Okay, give us
Legally competent to be relied upon is
the legality which you were.
Yes.
The question of legality.
Yes, my Lord.
Yes.
What are we talking about? Competence. What are we talking about competence? Are we talking about whether they are commissioned, whether they are affidavit, whether they what is competence of an affidavit? It is legality that we are telling you. What is the concept of competence of an affidavit is alien to the law. What is competence of an affidavit? It is the legality we are telling you. Yes.
Okay, give us the wording and the text.
So, my Lord, the issue will be framed as whether the affidavits of Chamber, Maumbe, whether the affidavits of Chamber Nathan Mwanguzi, Maumbe George William, and Ben Mukasankare, Chamber Nathan Mwanguzi, Maumbe George William,
It's dangerous to handle this as a side issue, because in evaluating all this,
and Ben Mukasankare,
they become important.
in support of the first respondent's answer to the petition. In support of the first
To reach the third
respondent's
issue when he has
answer to the
determined.
petition. Are legally admissible. So, my Lord, to attend to the concern of Mr. Mwizi, we have read them, yes, but we are challenging.
Admissibility of this video is not true.
No, my lord. Number 1 and number 2.
Handled as a first issue.
Probably.
It can be handled as a first issue because it's a legal point.
Okay, I think this the issue of affidavits
Which can be
Number one, yes.
Yeah.
Can be all both. True. No, because how else are you impeaching it under the law?
So, having dealt with the issues, we go to judgment. The judgment is that
My Lord, we My lord, we have
Affidavit is
filed.
true.
Document is
I don't know, my lord, with your guidance, whether you would like us to go through them and give them exhibit numbers or.
There is no objection, we mark it.
Much obliged. Our first document is at page 19 of the petition. Page 19 of the petition. That is a return form for transmission of results. It's a public document, really certified.
My lord, I'm just a little bit perturbed because these documents are attached to the affidavit. The affidavit essentially is read in court, and when it is read, it gets admitted, and at that stage, that is when we admit the document.
So I think we shall have to deem them as.
Because now so when we start with the exhibits, before the affidavit is read, that becomes a little bit.
Okay, so then we can go by affidavit by affidavit. So we start with the
witness who has
affidavit.
My lord, I think we deem them read. We deem read them.
And here we are covering both for the petitioner and for the
respondent. That is the next bit which is not admitted at this stage. So we're going to have that conflict. Let us first determine who is going to be called.
we are starting with the petitioner's case. And then it is you, the respondents, to let us know which witnesses you would like to
The witnesses of the
You have to narrow down.
yes.
You can't examine. You can't.
There are not many, my lord. There are not many. Ordinarily,
Each of them raises
I may have to name them.
less than 10.
Yes, but not even 10.
These are very few compared to those we examine every day.
There are about 11, but let's confirm. My lord.
The witnesses for examine has to relate to there are certain points that are not contested.
My lord, no, every.
Hold on.
Yes, my lord.
There are certain points that are not contested. When I was reading through the petition, I saw many affidavits of violence, which is put forward by the petitioner.
Was orchestrated by them. First of all, then we need to cross-examine them. Secondly,
Okay, we go affidavit by affidavit.
yes, my lord.
So, no, not.
Kalemba hapa. Kalemba.
Each single one. So they have the primary evidence that you need for examine. But otherwise, if you ask the commissioner, if you ask the petitioner rather, what did the Karemba Habat tell you? Clearly, the Karemba Habat ask those questions. For her, the law permits her to say, I got this information from Karemba. The other requirement is, I have brought Karemba Habat. So you can ask him what he told you. Otherwise, if you're going to ask the petitioner questions, the information that other people gave her, that is permitted by the law to do that, I don't see the relevance. Exactly.
Of a witness. And now we have even instances, for example, where the petitioner says, Maumbe told me. And Maumbe says, I've never seen the petitioner, I've never talked to her, among others. So the petitioner having brought forward a case, she has to be tested to the truthfulness. She also swore, took an oath. She's put down there. And she's saying, whatever I have stated is the truth and nothing but the truth. So all those bring her within the ambit of us probing her properly before court.
Maybe we need to get your guidance. If I got you well, you said that before you grant leave, you want us to demonstrate the relevance, why actually deponent why needs to be cross-examined. But if the facts are all clear, they are not contested, or they are not controversial in their nature, there will be need for cross-examination. There will be no need for cross-examination if the affidavit is very clear and not controversial. Maybe our task this side will be point out deponent why and say, I need to find cross-examine on his affidavit because it raises controversial issues. Then here leave can be granted. Others, I'm also not as an official of court, seeing a scenario where I'm going to cross-examine 60 or 34 deponents.
And campaigners with his knowledge and consent obstructed voters from voting at the election. That is a statement of fact that the petitioner has been cross-examined. And then 22, that she's entitled to those reliefs. She has also to show that she's entitled to those reliefs. And it goes through, we have to get it through examination.
Okay, so I think since yes, Mr. Karuta.
In 18, 19, 20, where she's getting this information from. This is my point. This is my point, my lord. The reliefs are not within her unit. It is up to the court to give her the reliefs or not. But in 17, then she goes, I tell you that this information I'm telling you, why I'm saying like that is from this person, this person, this person, whom she has actually assembled from.
Maybe my lord, and I think we can have it by striking go.
The affidavit.
The affidavit. Yes, it is hearsay. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And we wait for it because the law allows a petitioner or a respondent to refer to other witnesses in the field because the law says she could not have been in all places at the same time. So, Mr. Mbaba, that's a second question, really. It's a second position.
I think let him quote the law.
You see the danger?
Rather than telling us. Naombe 1276.
Another polling station.
Because they have to cover the issue of Mr. Carol. Yes. Maumbe, Lord William, and Shem. Then there is Nalukoola Margaret. Nalukoola Margaret goes.
Related to the same, connected to this.
No. Nalukoola is coming in with photographs. And Nalukoola comes in with several to Subira Mati. The one who offloaded. Request for maybe like 5 minutes. And we all agree.
Let's first finish this set. Let's finish this set.
This set.
That you mentioned.
like 5 minutes. And we all agree.
Let's first finish this set. Let's finish this set.
This set.
that you mentioned.
That was maybe as you write in the serial there. This number has asked for Maumbe and for Chamber as my witnesses for him to examine them. And that's the challenge that we're trying to avoid. Now, I don't know whether we get to give asking for his witnesses and also ask for them, because that's the challenge of him having two affidavits on record, and that's the challenge we're trying to cure, my lord. So I don't know now how we'll deal with that. Maybe we shall bring it at that point. But now he's asking for them as my witnesses. I don't know if I'll also ask for them as his witnesses. I don't know how we shall deal with that.
We shall deal with that one when we reach your side.
Yeah.
Not stand over.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand over, yes.
Same one. For 10 minutes. That will make this question of cross-examining all for a few easier for us and the court.
We've got guidance as
We hope to come back with fewer witnesses.
Okay, so the matter is still good until 10:15 a.m.
Kalemba hapa kumwaka mwandike
Kalemba hapa. One of violence, the specific polling station, because they are all
Gogo privacy.
for which polling station?
Banga democracia. Hold on, Salim.
Then Naruman's yes.
L to M. You have just have to mention that like he gets cured. Mr. Malivi Sam, Uganda.
Take us through. Yes, my lord, I will list the deponents we seek because all of them Wanjala Solomon, Mlindwa Mike, Niwamanya Saliva, Masud Senator Lawrence Asili. I wrote the above listed make separate allegations for the practices, offences, electoral offences, other claim having seen passport voting, others bribery, and they are not present. Each of them introduce separate set of allegations which need to be strictly proved. And we need to elicit that. Hello, the night. Yeah, there are 8 because the other from polling station. Those are the legal practices and conduct. We are classified them separately. Okay. I wrote the other cluster. I wrote I was putting them in clusters for one reason. That when we were making the prayer, we are going to make it when you point out where exactly you want and time the experience you had in the expectation, the witnesses appointment there, and the actual intention of the examination. My colleague will go to the other side. My Lord, we have a name that
Lord, you have Ruby, Sarah, Sami. Ruby is Sarah, Sami. Zangola. L-A-O. Esco. Lord, you have Zainab Side. Zainab Farid. Azul, Angola, Namat, L-A-A. We have Namuling of Grace. Zangola, A-N-A-L-I. Zimedi. Babylus, Florina. Babylus, Florina. We have Hassan. Senator Lawrence. Senator Hawkins. Senator Scotland. Similarly, just like we have indicated for the first set, that it is alleging illegal practices, this particular set has persons who are agents at the different polling stations, the 14 polling stations. So there is one person from each polling station. However, they claim to be registered voters and agents, but there is no evidence of any proof of that, like that 90 and other trial or law. Then there are some who did debt in their accidents. I know they are not seen them and they will help us find themselves here. My Lord, we have not seen them, and it's one of the reasons why we want them, because the jurisprudence requires that if you're coming to claim being a voter, an agent, you must attach that as proof. Bring evidence. The burden is on one side, it doesn't. So the issues among others that they help us do that. Secondly, some are undated. Then others have undated evidence. Others have screens that appear like thumbprints, but they appear like body. There's Kwagala Olivia. Twelve 16. Yes, my lord.
Yes, that's all.
These people raise distinct issues of allegations of
Mention your name.
Judge Bitabusse. Bitabusse, my lord. I'm emphasizing on the point why we need each of these distinctly, whereas broadly the allegations they raise may be similar, but there is distinct separate incidents or allegations or facts and at different stations. So each of them raise independent, distinct and separate allegations, which can amount to offenses. Which is the reason why each court has to test their veracity by them coming here to assert the same under cross-examination.
I don't think we are running a danger of going deep, but to satisfy you further on the IDs, Samuel Mlienwa. My lord, in the several petitions we've handled, we've encountered a scenario where the signature on the IDs differs from the deponent's signature. This has been an area which has been so notorious. We had the IDs attached. Our question on Maumbe and others probably will not have arisen. That's the purpose of cross-examination. That's the purpose of an inquiry. That's the purpose of an investigation, which is envisaged in a trial of this nature. So, my lord, we believe we need all of these as listed. Enable us to have a fair hearing in this matter.
Okay. Let me have the list from this side. You also give you some
My Lord Kalule Ahmed Mukasa, for the petitioner. My Lord, from the first respondent, we will require the first respondent himself. Now was Rita. Senabuya Dennis.
second one is
N'abakoza Rita. Senabuya Dennis. Sylvia Nachobe.
what is the other name of Senabuya?
Dennis, my lord. Dennis. Then Sylvia Nachobe. Chibirige Musa. Ben Mukasantale. Damba Kezekia. Chemba Nathan Mwanguzi. Maumbe Jojulia. Chemba Nathan Mwanguzi and Maumbe Jojulia. My Lord, the reason is that they all deny allegations to do with illegal practices and offenses as alleged by the petition. That's why we need them. All of them. From the second respondent, my Lord, shall require the returning officer. The name is Makabai Henry. Then I think there are two witnesses, my Lord, who we thought the second respondent would bring, but he hasn't. We'll apply for witness summons for those particular witnesses. There are two of them. The presiding officer for Bogo Primary School, playground, KAT to MAJ, is called Makov Shafik. The second person, my Lord, is Yuchi Shamim. Shamim, my Lord, is the...
you give me the names of those where you need witness summons?
My Lord, is Makov Shafik. Makov Shafik is the presiding officer, or was the presiding officer for Bogo Primary School playground, KAT to MAJ, that police station. KAT to MAJ. Then the other one is the supervisor from Bogo, rather, Kazo Angola Polling Center. The name is Yuchi Shamim. Lord, we are making that application.
The ones that need the witness summons are only two.
Only two.
Yuchi Shamim and Bitabusse Shafik.
Yes, Lord, we are making that application pursuant to Section 83 of the VEA, the Parliamentary Elections Act. I haven't yet finished some of those. Section 83(1)(a) of the VEA. I'm making that application for those three cases under Section 83(1)(a) of the Parliamentary Elections Act. That's all.
You have anything? You have
Maybe what I did respond to, you did give me the opportunity to redirect my witnesses. All of this was the request for some by first respondent, especially the second cluster, my Lord. Polling agents at polling stations. The petitioners polling agents at the 14 polling stations. All of the reasons they have highlighted for asking for leave to cross-examine them do not apply to some of them. For example, my Lord, Kalemba Hapat, he has no what they call power ink. It doesn't say he's a registered voter. It's not a requirement for him to be an agent. His affidavit is dated. That is the same with the Nambi Sarah. Same with the Sima Mauritius. Basomero the case with Sebikwa Doi. Same with Almas Jessica. The issues they have highlighted don't apply to them. The Power Victor falls in that category. The issues they have highlighted don't apply to him. Rube Sara Sanyu, same. Zainab Farida, same. League of Grace, same. That Tabia Shedna, same. Now, those witnesses of the petitioner who are agents at those polling stations all say one thing. There was voting at those polling stations, which went on smoothly, but at the time of counting, some people came and disorganized the counting, so it was not completed. My Lord, that issue is not contested either by the first or second respondent. In his answer to the petition, in the first respondent's answer to the petition, my Lord, paragraph 4, the answer to the petition, my Lord, the first respondent admits that those polling stations returned 0-0, which is what we are saying. My Lord, the second respondent, his is even more direct. They say there's 0-0 return from those polling stations. So that's what my witnesses can simply say. That we voted, but we returned no results. The first respondent is saying yes, from those polling stations, there were no results. The second respondent is saying yes, there are no results from those polling stations. So we cross-examine them for what? They have no power in, which they call power in. The affidavits are dated. They have not claimed registered voters. So really, we do not see a reason why leave should be granted, at least for those persons that are mentioned for cross-examination. I'm obliged, my Lord.
Start with the last issue raised by our colleague. My Lord, under paragraph 3 of the respondent's answer, the respondent is very clear that save for the violence, ballot pre-ticking, ballot stuffing, and alteration of the other forms orchestrated by the petitioner and her agents that did not affect the result of the election in substantial manner. So it's not true that the respondent is agreeing with the petitioner in entirety. There is attribution. Who is responsible for that violence? Because there has been jurisprudence that you should not cause violence, then you come and want to benefit from it. So, my Lord, the essence of cross-examining this particular 1-1 from each polling station, who makes those allegations, is to look for what they did not say in the affidavit. Because our colleague says whatever they had to say, they have said it in the affidavit. The essence of cross-examination is to look for what you did not say. Because what you said was on hire, you came for a purpose, to make sure you nullify an election. The essence of cross-examination is to make you say what you did want to say. And that is part of the essence. My Lord, if you look at these particular witnesses, that have been listed, one, they fall under that category. But two, you look at Babile Sherina, Nasanga, Babile Sherina, Nasanga, they said the first respondents agents, they even give names, came, beat me, and they caused the violence. Now they are attempting to attribute that violence to the first respondent and the agents. So it is important that they come. My Lord, there is a common adage that what is good for the goose should be as well for the gander. The only reason that our colleague has given for wanting to cross-examine the list he gave is that they denied the allegation. That is the reason, and I will quote the report because at least I'm still hearing very well. The only reason for the other witnesses first responding that they denied the allegations. And that is the only reason. So, my Lord, the nature of the electoral petition usually goes into those details. And my Lord, without prejudice, I think the request and the EC does not object to the same, but it is very interesting why Matobu Shafik and Injuki Shamim, who were presiding officers at 2 polling stations, the petitioner would want them to come without offering any reason why, and why out of the 14 polling stations his interest is in, first of all, wondering why the EC did not bring them, as if he expected them to come. And then miraculously, without even justification, making summon for these 2. Because our objection is that there should be demonstration at least of something for the summons. What is it? The way we are also laboring to have witnesses come and we debunk their lies, which they admitted as truth, we would also think that there would be some justification that the petitioner's counsel will give for the magic behind these 2 persons. My Lord, briefly, that is it, and we submit that the application to have the same cross-examining is justified and in the interest of justice.
In Chadon, yes. My Lord, the purpose is to test reliability. Reliability, accuracy, and inconsistencies, which we could not do by just reading and responding. We have to test the political biases of the deponents. Where do they lie? We already have the information. My Lord, we cannot put it. It is only then that you can, the credibility test for such witnesses can pass through an inquiry and an investigation. We have highlighted, my Lord, the specific, if we read through, which we cannot do now, the specific content at every polling station and the accuracy of such can only be determined by putting them to test. My Lord, the devil lies in the detail, which has not been presented. So, my Lord, it's part of the process of uncovering new information. It's not bad, and highlighting weaknesses, which we've seen across board that we cannot submit at the preliminary stage. We believe it is important in the interest of justice and a fair trial in an inquiry that all witnesses highlighted be called for cross-examination.
Some clarification on these witnesses that they have summoned. The procedure, how is it going to be done? Because
Are they going to be
The ones for summons?
Are they
The
going
ones
to
for
be
summons?
Yes. Are they going to be with his job board? Because the procedure is going to confuse us. And then when they come, who is going to lead them? And if they are led by court, I don't know what court would want. Because I think that provision was put there specifically when court is stuck and they need some more evidence and light. So what actually Mr. Karoli is doing is a disguised application to file further witness statements. Because I'm wondering now we come, is cross-examined by Mr. Karoli.
On what?
On what? If he's led by court, what does court want to lead this person into? So, whereas the second respondent does not object, I'm just wondering how the record is going to look like. Because if the petitioner cross-examines and we also cross-examine
That affidavit, i.e., that they want to ask and they want to establish who caused the violence, who disturbed the voting and that kind of thing. That is not allowed under the law. Okay? Because that would amount, my lord, if they begin bringing those kinds of facts and alleging malpractice, if at all, on the part of the petitioner, that would amount to a disguised gross petition, which is not allowed. But they have, the EC has to consent for them to come. So my lord, there is no other way apart from court summoning them, and we shall, after the second respondent has introduced them, then carry on with the cross-examination. If the first respondent also likes to cross-examine the witness, so be it. There is no bar. Which bar? Which bar? I have already disclosed in my lord why the persons I need, this is Shafiq and Ibushi. They are supervising areas where there was, where there was 0-0 return. And that is why they want them. That's why I'm bringing in them. They want people who are the voting polling station. The same reason they have, the same reason I have. It cannot work only one way.
Okay, so the
Kasoluganda nayogira n'endyoka njogera kuba yemmwe bakulu.
Oli wa Luganda wamma.
Activities kakati oyogera ebingi nebikendeeza kirisa. Kale kuba gwe obinyweza yanka tumulindeko kuba yanyweza ebi abadde agamba bugambye oli wawe tugenda. But well, we can find us along the way.
Yeah, we can start with the first.
Leero tufunye obuwanguzi obusoose mu mmata eno. Twabagamba nti okusaba kwa Nambi ne balooya be okugoba obujulizi bwaffe tekwalina we baali bakusimbuliza mu mateeka, tekwalina makulu, kwali kwewuunyisa era kwali kugenderedde kukweka bujulizi, kulemesa bujulizi kugenda mu kooti. Tubadde ba mukisa nti kooti egobye okusaba kwabwe okuba nti nno obujulizi obwo obwabe wakana Nambi ne looya we okuba nti babamanyi nti babaweerangako obujulizi nti ate basayininganga mpapula ziri mu kooti, kooti egoba okusaba kwabwe nekkiriza nti erina okutunula ku bujulizi buno, nti bwemala okubutunulako lwe naasalawo wabusaanidde oba nedda. So kitegeeza abajulizi baffe bonna nga bwe twabaleeta mu musango guno abawakanya obulimba obuli mu petition basigaddeko, naye obujulizi bwabadde asinga okulwanyisa bwebwo obuwakanya okuba nti ye yamala okukuba abantu ate n'ayagala okubako okw'abantu okuleeta violence akyeyambise nti akalulu kaalimu ebirumira. Tuli mu kugamba kooti ebirumira ebyo byonna byayogerako ye n'abantu be babireeta. Ekirala obujulizi bw'okuba nti waliwo obululu obutaabalibwa no box obwayasibwayasibwa, era twaleeta abajulizi nga bagamba obujulizi ekisooka si bwabwe ne n'ekirala nga bagamba bo kye bamanyi obujulizi obwo n'abayasaayasa ebyokulonda baali bawagizi b'oyo ate awaaba. Bwe tufunye omukisa ne tuba nga obujulizi obwo bukkiriziddwa, tulaba nti nno waliwo ekitangaala gye tulaga, era kyali kyabwewuusa nga first respondent oba omubaka bweyogera tosobola kweyambisa kooti kujjawo buwanguzi bw'abantu nga weeyambisa obulimba ate ddala obwenkukunala ng'ogamba nti nno Honorable Nalukoola ye yakuba abantu, ye yamenya abantu ebigere, ye yamenya obubokisi, nti ye yayuza obululu. Egamba ebyo tufunye omukisa era mujja kulaba gye tugenda mu maaso nga ensonga eno tugiteeka ku mmeeza. Ekirala tuli mu kusalawo baani abalina okujja mu maaso ga kooti okubasoyasoya ebibuuzo ku nsonga ze boogerako. Tetulowooza nti okunoonyereza musango ebyokulonda nga guno kooti egamba kuba kunoonyereza eba investigation. Tulowooza si kituufu okusibirayo obujulizi bwonna. Obujulizi obusibirayo otya kasita oba nga otugaanye okuyita abo abawandiike ebirayiro okujja okubabuuza, kuba tukimanyi abasinga nti bajja kwagala kuyita mu kamooli nga beeyambisa kooti nga bwe gwali mu gwa Honorable Wakayima n'abalala. Kooti bwe yalangirira omuntu ataawangula tugenda kiremesa, yatweteeseteese okulaba nti nno tuwakanya ensonga zonna ezo era tulaba obuwanguzi bukyali mu mikono gyaffe.
So I think today we have secured our first victory. You remember on Monday when we were here, court set the ruling for today on a preliminary objection that had been raised by Nambi and her lawyers. Their intention had been to block the evidence of some of the witnesses that were refuting having ever given any evidence for Nambi, and also refuting a number of allegations attributed to them. Now, court has agreed with us that the intention by the petitioner to lock out this very important evidence cannot be sustained in an inquiry of this kind. So court has agreed with Mr. Nalukoola, Honorable, and the lawyers representing the first respondent that it is important that court investigates these witnesses. So we have scored that victory and it's very important. But secondly, it is also interesting that at this point, when we are attempting to schedule, the petitioner wants to take advantage of the violence that was meted out, of the beating up of people, of the scandalizing of voting materials, which were perpetuated by the state and her agents. Now she's telling court that that evidence, Nalukoola should not mention anything about who beat who, where were they coming from. Secondly, in an election petition of this nature, which is an inquiry, the only way that court can test the veracity, the truthfulness of the evidence is by calling witnesses and asking them questions. And that's what we have been doing after scoring the first victory. Identifying the witnesses that make several allegations, such that they come and we ask them. Now, it's very surprising to us that the petitioner's lawyers were telling court, no, the witnesses should not come. What they said is enough. But we are saying that in an election petition, we must squeeze the truth out of lying witnesses. And most of these are cooked up witnesses, just like you are seeing a number of them coming out and saying, we have never sworn anything.
Some of them had thumbprints which are like powdered ink. You know, we all know thumbprints. If you can't write, at least a thumb is known, and powdered ink is also known. So we want all these people to come. They had evidence that is not dated. Now, these all are issues that we want court to allow us to examine, and we are coming back later on to that too, for court to give us a pronouncement on which witnesses we shall be cross-examining. But we are sure that we are headed for victory, because at the end of the day, the voice and the mandate of the people of Kawempe North must be maintained and respected by the judicial system. And that's what we are looking for here.
Well,
Alex Ruganda.
Bonna abalayira tebateekako national ID zaabwe beekweka tetwagala tubenga tugenda kukozesa emizimu okusalawo ensonga enkulu bweti bonna omu ku omu so tusabye kooti nti bonna bajje tukakase nti tuli mu kukolagana na mizimu tukolagana n'abantu kyekyo lwaki twagala tubalabeko ate oli awakanya nti abantu bennaleeta mu kooti nga sitaddeeko na biboogerako nga national ID kooti ereme bakkiriza kujja kulabibwa kyongere tukakasa kye tubadde tusuubira. There's a very sticky issue. All deponents, all witnesses have not disclosed, witnesses of the petitioner have not disclosed their identity. They did not attach national identity cards. We are awash to the fact that in this country we have ghost voters, ghost witnesses, ghost employees. So to avert ghosts in court, we believe it is only proper that all those witnesses who saw affidavits for the petitioner who have hidden their face and details be called for cross-examination. And that was sticky. We await the decision of court on this issue this afternoon. Obujulizi mu matters zino awaaba gwogamba nti nno waliwo ensobi eno yagingamba era kyekyo wakingireeta. Kaakati omuntu ataakubuliranga nsobi eyaliwo tosobola kuleeta bujulizi bwe. Kati beesanze nkasita obujulizi bwaffe busigaddemu batandise kuwa manta bakiyita kunoonya bujulizi nga weeyambisa kooti. Tekikkirizibwa mu mateeka okunoonya obujulizi kegamba kooti ebeerenga yeewaaba nga kooti ogigambye eyita omujulizi ayogere ekyaliwo ku polling station ng'ate oyita wa electoral commission. Ndowooza ekyo tugenda kulaba olwaleero olujja kuba olusoose. Ekyo kibeerawo nga kooti bw'eba wakati mu kuwuliriza omusango ne yeesanga nti mu byegumwogedde byonna kooti ye erina omujulizi gwe yeetaaga olwo eyita omuntu bw'atyo kuba twebuuza kati anaaba mujulizi waani alinga agamba nti mujulizi wa kooti kati oyinza kkaka kooti kuyita mujulizi gwetannaba kusalawo nti erina ensonga lwaki emuyita. So kuba bali mu kuwa manta kunoonya bujulizi nga beeyambisa kooti tekikkirizibwa mu mateeka. We've unusual that the petitioner, in failing to have sufficient evidence, he wants to use court to make its case. The pleadings are closed, the evidence is all in, but for want of evidence, he wants to use court by seeking for court to summon a witness who are EC officials. We've not seen this before. We are yet to see the decision. We don't want to preempt it. But whose witness would such a witness be? These are not our witnesses. They cannot be the petitioner's witnesses because they have not provided any case for the petitioner. And EC did not bring them to defend, because these would be witnesses to defend the election, unless there is conspiracy. Unless, because you have sued the Electoral Commission, and you want the Electoral Commission to cross to your side, unless there is conspiracy. It is fishy. You are saying, let the Electoral Commission come, provide evidence to me to impeach the election that they organized. That is very unusual. Balinga abagamba nti aba Electoral Commission bajje babawere obujulizi, kitegeeza bali mugamba nti abakungu be Electoral Commission begatte ku muwaabi bawaabire Electoral Commission gwe yalangirira. Ndowooza kye baalema okukola eri ku Tale Center baagala kiyisa mu kooti naye tubalaba. tubalaba tebajja kutuyita kulitalaba era kooti katulinde kyesalawo tunasalawo ekinaddako ku nsonga eyo.
I'm happy this morning for 3 reasons. One, we have hit them. We have secured a victory in the preliminaries. Their preliminary objection has been overruled. They wanted to bar us from having that important evidence, but the court has ruled to the contrary. 2, this morning I've seen Hajati Nambi in court. It's very nice for her to be around and establish the fact that there is an uphill. She has a lot to do, and indeed she will learn and understand that her petitions frivolous in the preliminaries. 3, it's now clear that the frivolous, incompetent, scandalous petition cannot stand. It is just a mere afterthought. They are now on fishing expedition. Like you have heard, they are applying to have officers of Electoral Commission come here. That means they came to court with insufficient evidence. Oh, ladies and gentlemen out there, I have good news for you that Hajati Nambi cannot succeed in this petition. Should try elsewhere. She can come back in 2026 in the election, but we shall as well win her like we did last time. Basebo ne banyaba abalungi olw'ensonga 3 nti tumaze okukompola Hajati Nambi wano mu kusooka, era nsuubira nti buli munnamawulire wano omuyiiya obulungi naddala oyo awandiika ajja kuteekayo omutwe agambe nti kaakano Nalukoola akompodde Nambi 2-0. Okitegeera? Tumukompodde wattu. Akasonga ke baali baleese okwagala okugyamu obujulizi obw'ensonga, bapuliida be nga bagamba nti nno nti balinamu ensonga banabwe ekityo abajulizi bano obujulizi bwabwe bugibweko. Omulamuzi agambye byonna bibeere wali. Tubakubye. Ekyokubiri ekindeetera essanyu nti Hajati Nambi azeeko mu kooti alabeko akakase nti akabala ku nkalajje. Mu kifo ky'okutuula eyo n'aleka bapuliida bambi baboneebone n'ebigambo ku bikolobero ebyakolebwa ye, ate ne bamala bejje beefuula abalungi. Kinsanyudde nti azaagoberera omusango gwe, akimanye nti agenda okuwalampa olusozi gambalagala. Bino si muniino, naye kale weewuunya ddala Nambi yamatiza atya abapuliida okuddira n'abamatiza baleeta ekisango nga kino ekitali mu makulu? Ajja abeerewo naye alabe kiki kyagenda okweŋŋanga. Ani ddala ayinza okweŋŋanga ffe abatagambika nga tulina ne bapuliida bano abazitonga ki? Bannange Hajati Nambi olabye ennaku. Ekirala kyeyolese lwatu nti nno Hajati Nambi yajja mu kooti nga talina bujulizi. Bali mu kuwamma nte eno n'eno, bali mu kuyita ne be bataalina. Baga kooti nyamba n'ono omuyita ajja mpeereko ku bujulizi. Wattu nkubuulira ggwe Hajati Nambi muli mu kaseera kazibu ggwe ne bapuliida bo, era mutegeka obutambaala obuwera mujje na ttawulo nga mwesiimuula entuuyo. Ndi musanyufu nnyo olwaleero nti tumaze obbakompola n'ekikompola ky'amateeka. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Ebifo nno gyebiri eyo asobola okugezaako naddala w'alina obuganzi, naye kati wano ayagala kwekaka bwekasi ku bantu ba Kawempe North, ate takomye okwo ali mu balemesa obuweereza. Hajati Nambi olabye ennaku, kubanga ne bw'onootwekakaatikaka ab'e Kawempe North ng'oyita mu kooti, sirowooza mbu kooti enaakuzuula negamba nti oyina ettutumu ewaffe. Ebyo byapa. Weebale nnyo, weebalire ddala. Buvunaanyizibwa bwo okulaba obusobozi bwe we buli. Bali eyo beenyaremu bali eyo balonda. Basobola okwewa obufoofofo naye ate nabo beegendereze bamuwe ebyo byasobola. Si kirungi muntu mutikka mugugu gw'atasobola wattu. Weebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.
Tulabye nga okugoba kw'okusaba kwamwe kwogerako ki?
Okay. Ku makya ga leero kooti eno enkulu ensonga y'okusalawo obanga abajulizi Nalukoola beyagula okuva ku sayidi yaffe oba ebirayiro byabwe babijjeko oba babirekeko, ensonga eyo kooti tegisazeewo. Kyewunyisa bapuliida ku sayidi eri ne Honorable Nalukoola mwennyini ate okujja ebweru wa kooti n'agamba nti ensonga eyo kooti egisazeewo. Tegisazeewo. Kooti kyekoze kwe kugamba nti abajulizi kabajje esooke ebawulire eryoke esalewo ensonga eyo. Era bwe tubadde tuteekateeka ensonga ezinaawulirwa, kooti eyo gyefudde ensonga esooka. So tesazeewo oba Nalukoola yagulirira abajulizi baffe oba nedda. Egambye nti ensonga eyo kabasooke bajje mbawulire ndyoke ensalewo obanga mu butuufu abajulizi bano baagulirirwa oba nedda, n'olwekyo esooke esalewo obanga ebirayiro byabwe bijjibwako ku rekodi oba nedda. So ekyo bwe kityo kooti bwekikoze. So simayinza nze oba butamanya oba butawuliriza kooti bulungi byeyogera oba oli awo butabitegeera okujja ng'ogamba nti ate kooti esazeewo ku nsonga eyo ate nga tegisazeewo. So ekyo nno bwe kityo bwe kibadde, ndowooza nga kyalitegeerekese mu mbeera efaanana bw'etyo. Bwe tumaze ekyo kakati mu nsonga yo kusalawo okukkiriziganya bajulizi ki ku buli sayidi abanaaleetebwa okubuuzibwa kajjojijjoji w'ebibuuzo. Ffe nno tubadde tugamba omulamuzi era ng'anaasalawo edda olwaleero nga tumugamba nti waliwo abajulizi abamu abateetaaga kubuuzibwa bibuuzo. Lwaki? Kubanga ensonga ze boogerako akakiiko k'ekulonda kazikkiriza ne Nalukoola yazikkiriza. Ze ziruwa nti ku polling station 14 ze tugamba nti tezaakomyawo byava mu kulonda, Electoral Commission ekkiriza nti ebyokulonda tebyavaayo, ne Nalukoola akkiriza nti ebyokulonda tebyavaayo. Ekibuuzo kyaffe kibadde kakati abo ogenda kubabuuza ki? Buli omu kyamanyi era kyakkiriziganya nakyo. Naye omulamuzi ajja kutubuulira edda obanga abajulizi abo bonna banaabuuzibwa ebibuuzo oba tebaabuuzibwe bibuuzo. Ekyokusatu, nsonga y'abajulizi ababiri betwetaaga ab'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Okulonda kuno kutegekebwa kakiiko ka byakulonda. Abantu abakolera akakiiko k'ebyokulonda inze sirina buyinza bubaleetanga bajulizi bange, kubanga etteeka ligamba nti abakozi b'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda balina okufuna olukusa okuva mu kakiiko okujja okuweera omu ku bapate obujulizi mu musango. Akati nze ng'Electoral Commission tempadde buyinza ate nga tejja kubumpa abajulizi abo, etteeka liŋŋamba nti saba kooti ebalagire bajje babuuzibwe ebibuuzo ku kulonda kwatambula kutya ku polling stations kwe baali. So ekyo nakyo tusabye kooti etuwe abajulizi babiri nga bakozi b'akakiiko ka byokulonda batubuulire entabo yavaawa ku polling stations zaabwe obutabanga ki obutabanga tezikomyawo byava mu kulonda n'ensonga endala ezikwata ku polling stations kwe baali. Ekitibwa tusabisa kooti tiffe tulina buyinza, tulina lukusa lubaleeta kubanga si bakozi si bakozi baffe, si bakozi ba Nambi, bakozi b'akakiiko ak'ebyokulonda. So olw'okuba tebaleese nga tuteekwa okusaba kkooti ebayite tubabuuze ebibuuzo, oba ne bannalukoola baagala nabo bababuuze, kubanga babeera bajulizi ba kkooti. Buli omu alina eddembe okubabuuza ebibuuzo by'ayagala ebikwata ku nsonga ezaali ku polling station bwe baali. Now, this morning the court was supposed to rule on the issue of whether affidavits that were procured by the Honorable Nalukoola from our witnesses, 2 of our witnesses, should be removed from the record of court because, as we alleged, they were procured illegally. What the court has done is to defer that ruling until these witnesses have been listened to tell the circumstances under which they recorded this second set of witnesses. So the court has not yet decided the issue whether those witnesses affidavits that were given to the Honorable Nalukoola should be removed from the record of court or not. That matter, the court has said will decide when it has listened to the witnesses. So it is a wrong misconception on the part of our colleagues for the first respondent for Nalukoola that the court has overruled our objection. It hasn't. It has deferred the ruling on that subject until it has listened to the witnesses to understand the circumstances under which the Nalukoola procured them to give a second set of affidavits. That has been framed as the first issue that we shall deal with. We have already argued it, so the court will, at an appropriate time, give a ruling on that matter. The second thing we have been dealing with is to decide which witnesses will be required for cross-examination by either side. What we have done is to tell the court that in order to abridge time for the hearing of this petition, if Nalukoola is not scared of it, we should listen to it quickly, should handle it quickly. In that sense, that therefore some witnesses are not necessarily important for cross-examination, because what they talk about, Nalukoola agrees to it. What they talk about, Electoral Commission agrees to it. These are our witnesses who at the several polling stations say that results were not returned from these polling stations. That is not contested by Nalukoola because he does not have those results. That is not contested by the Electoral Commission because they do not have those results. So what we have been telling court is now this set of witnesses, what are you cross-examining them about? Okay, it is not necessary that they be cross-examined. But because Nalukoola and his team want to delay the hearing of this petition, they want to waste time, they are urging the court that they should cross-examine everybody. The court will give us a ruling later today on which witnesses will be cross-examined from either side. But we are only urging the court that is not relevant, it's not necessary for some witnesses to be cross-examined. Ffe kye twagala ekisooka, twagala Nalukoola agibwe mu Parliament. Kye kisookerwako. Twagala buwanguzi, twagala kwoleka kkooti nti okulangirira kwa Nalukoola kwali kwa mankwetu. Lwaki? Kubanga bw'oba olina polling stations z'otaakomyawo byava mu kulonda, ng'ennamba y'abantu abalonderawo kumpi yenkanankana n'obululu Nalukoola bwe yafuna, akale otandika otya okulangirira omuntu afaanana bw'atyo? Difference wakati wa Nalukoola ne Nambi buli obululu kanaana. Abantu be tutamanyi balonda batya bali 1,600. Kati tukugamba walangirira otya gwe isi ng'abantu 1,600 situmanyi balonda batya? Ekyo wamenya tteeka tiwalina kulangirira Nalukoola. Walina okumakinga sure nti abantu abo balonda ne tutegeera balonze batya, kubanga ennamba yaabwe nnene esinga margin eri wakati w'abantu ababiri abasooka mu bululu, Nalukoola ne Nambi. So ekisooka n'olwekyo twagala kkooti era tujja gikakasa ekkiriziganye naffe ku nsonga eyo nti kyali kikyamu akakiiko k'ebyokulonda okulangirira result ey'enkomeredde nga situtegedde abantu abo balonda batya. Ekyokubiri, kkooti tujja kugiwa obujulizi buno bw'olaba Nalukoola oba okugulirira abalonzi, oba okukuba kampeyini ku lunaku lw'okulonda, oba okulemesa abakulira ebyokulonda okukola omulimu gwabwe n'okulemesa abamu ku balonzi okutuuka mu bifo awalonderwa. Guno gwe emisango emirala epointi ey'okubiri gye tukyaginga Nalukoola. So kye tugenderera mu kyo singa kkooti ekkiriziganya naffe, Nalukoola kuva mu kkooti tudde mu constituency tulonde bannakawempe balonde omuntu gwe baagala bamulonde nga buli kimu kitambudde bulungi, anaawangula ate nga ye waffe Nambi akakate nti awangudde mu butuufu, so si ebintu by'amankwetukwetu obula obumu tebuliimu, obulala mwebuli, bulala tebuliimu, bulala tebuliimu. Eyo embeera Nalukoola mwe yalangirirwa gye twagala okwoleka kkooti nti yali nkyamu. Omulundi omulala yo si nsonga, era bw'anaaba ayagadde ajja kuddayo, naye ako ka mu January tukyali Kano, twagala kutereeza bitaatereera mu Kano, so bireme kuddamu. Nalukoola twagala ayite mu Kamooli mu kipayo payati agende mu Parliament abeere eyo, twagala agende waba wakugendayo nga buli kimu kitambudde bulungi. The difference between Nalukoola and Nambi is 8,000 voters. We are saying it was wrong for the Electoral Commission therefore to declare a winner without ascertaining the electoral choice of 16